The Prime Minister orders an inquiry into the contaminated blood scandal in which nearly 2,500 people died in the 1970s and 80s. The Prime Minister has ordered an inquiry into the contaminated blood scandal that left 2,400 people dead. The people affected included many haemophiliacs who died from hepatitis C or AIDS-related illnesses after receiving contaminated blood products from the NHS in the 1970s and 80s. Let's talk to our health editor, Hugh Pym at Westminster. Remind us more about what happened and what's been announced today, Hugh.
Well, Jane, it's been called before the worst disaster in the history of the NHS because these were patients who were being treated. In the case of haemophiliacs, they needed blood clotting products. These were imported from the United States and they came into the UK tainted with hepatitis C and HIV. And 2,400 patients who were receiving their treatment in good faith contracted these diseases and died, and thousands more were infected, and it's been seen as a burning injustice by the victims and the families, and it's been acknowledged now by ministers as an injustice. So what's happened is that the government is set, there's a debate going on in the Commons right now on the subject, the whole history of contaminated blood. The government is set to confirm details of a full inquiry, which will be UK-wide. Now the interesting thing there is we've already had one inquiry paid for by the victims, a private inquiry headed by a judge which covered largely England. There's been an inquiry by a Scottish judge, Lord Penrose, which reported just over a year ago. But the victims have never felt, and their families have never felt, that those inquiries really got to the heart of the matter. Was there a cover-up in Whitehall? There have been admissions of documents going missing about who knew what when. In the civil service, senior health officials, did they know these products were tainted and then take no action to stop it happening? So I think that is the thing that the inquiry will have to get to the heart of, and it does follow a letter from leading politicians, opposition leaders to the government only on Sunday, calling for just this sort of inquiry.
Hugh, thank you. Hugh Pym.